In today's outdoorsy trip, we've come to a forest located about 18 kilometers away from Cluj to escape the heat wave that was bestowed upon us by this week's summer days. We're gonna follow this dirt road that leads into the forest and have a look around, see if we can find something that would be interesting to showcase. And since we're on the lookout for things we can forage, it's my duty to tell you that this activity should not be pursued if you are not 100% sure that what you are picking is edible. If you have the slightest doubt, take some pictures from various angles and do your research, as foraging mistakes can lead to poisoning or even death. Just a few minutes walk into the forest and we already stumbled upon our first peppery milkcap, unsurprisingly growing under a hazel tree, a species with which it prefers to form symbiotic associations. It's commonly referred to as a peppery milkcap because it bleeds a whitish substance called milk or latex when cut, which has a very distinct and strong peppery, almost bitter taste. Newer field guides use photographs of the mushrooms, and while they are helpful, they don't always capture all the distinctive physical features required for an ID. Whereas in an illustrated field guide, every detail of the drawing is there for a reason, to help you identify key features. This usually comes at the cost of illustrations looking slightly exaggerated, like a toned-down caricature version of the real thing. Just take a look at these two illustrations that I found in two pocket guides from 1977 and 1943. Young milkcap mushrooms start growing a convex-shaped cap that turns into a funnel in the middle, while the mushroom is maturing. Their off-white, cream-colored flesh often bruises to a pale ochre as they develop, and their skin may crack if there's a dry spell going on, like you can see here on this one. The stalks can vary from 3 to 10 centimeters in length, while the caps can grow to reach anywhere from 5 to 15 centimeters across. Growing from June to October, the peppery milkcap is a common sight in deciduous forests. Those are forests composed of trees that shed their leaves. Fresh specimens have a firm white flesh that will bleed when cut. Both the latex and the flesh oxidize to a greenish-gray color, so don't be alarmed if you find them looking like that when you get home. A very distinctive feature can be seen on the underside of the cap where the lamellae are found, which are extremely thin and densely packed together. This is one of the sure signs of positive identification. Some creepy crawlies unfortunately found this one before I did. Time to move on. We've been walking through the forest for some time now with no luck of finding any more fungi. It's been very hot lately with no rain at all, and it definitely shows. The forest floor is as dry as I've ever seen it. The peppery milkcaps should be abundant all over this area by now, but all we managed to find were a few dried up specimens. Nothing to forage around here, but at least Kira's curiosity led us to a small, beautiful clearing in the woods, and we could get a glimpse of the hills around us. But we'll have to get a better look when we're out of the forest. Wandering along the forest path, we noticed that we'd found an area densely packed with smaller shrub-like undergrowth. With lime-colored leaves and long straight branches, this shrub is common to most European woodlands. The hazel. And sure enough, here's a cluster of hazelnuts, unripe yet because it's still early in the season. This is the stuff Nutella is made of. But they won't be any good to eat until early to mid-autumn, probably September to October. the native European species of hazel. This one is commonly used for commercial production due to it having the biggest yield and largest hazelnuts. However, the shrubs that we found in this outing are growing in the forest mostly under a dense canopy and don't have the proper sun exposure to grow lots of nuts. But that's not the only thing hazel is good for. The shrubs grow very straight shoots, both naturally and also after being cut down, a practice commonly known as coppicing. These straight branches are easy to bend and were historically used for wattle fences and woven baskets, since the hazel was readily available in most woodlands. Its wood is soft and easy to carve, so it was great material for making whistles and smaller traditional household tools, such as the distaff, a stick onto which wool was twisted for spinning thread. Other reported uses relate to older, speculative treatments for pulmonary and skin conditions, for which the bark, young twigs, and sap were the main ingredients for making tinctures and teas. Although the forest is usually abundant in foraging options this time of the year, we found many more surprises on our way back while out in the meadow along the dirt road. Like this blackberry bush that's still cooking its tiny blackberries in the summer sun. Left unattended, like this one out here, the bushes tend to grow tangled stems that stretch out toward the light. So it's not uncommon to realize that you found a blackberry simply because its thorns snagged your clothes. Or this blackthorn, full of unripe plum-like fruits called sloes, which taste extremely astringent at the moment but will become edible after the first frost. Their color will also turn from this pale green to a dark purple blue come autumn. Some of them are already showing signs. Turning our attention to taller shrubs, we found quite a lot of hawthorn, a common sight in this type of environment. The fruits are grouped in clusters and turn bright red, remaining attached to the tree over winter. This provides a great source of food for local birds, which in turn help the tree by dispersing its seeds through their droppings. Just like it happens with dogberries, which are the fruit of the common dogwood, still green here, but soon to become black when fully ripe. Above head, we spotted a bunch of crab apples that grow on the taller branches of this wild apple tree. But they're pretty sour and not pleasant to enjoy, so we'll leave them be. To conclude today's outing, here's a sight of those charming hills in the distance and some fluffy clouds to go with that image, as promised. We'll see you soon with more open-air activities.